There we go. We should be good to go. Go ahead and speak
Sweet.
one
Now,
more time for me, please. Go ahead.
how do I watch what you have
Oh,
posted?
I'm going to go ahead and pull that up in Discord for you so that way you can see it at real time. Let me share my
Perfect.
screen. Give me a second here. You should be able to see this. Hold on. Pause, champ. Let's see here. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want that. All right, there you go. You should be able to see what I have pulled up at real time. Or,
Okay, there we go. Watch stream.
yep.
Perfect. Let's see if I can make it bigger.
How's that? Hopefully you can see everything that I'm doing on this screen as I change around and such.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's how to make full screen. That's what I'm looking for.
Cool.
Perfect. Oh,
Dope.
cool. There's a volume for the stream I'm watching as well.
Excellent. Yeah. You should be able to turn the stream down. Like there's no you can just I mean if you want to have it up on the side, that's fine. But cool. All right. So first things first, how did you get into having a sword school? Like what was the inspiration? What put you on the path and what did you do to make it happen? Because that's cool. I didn't know. I had no idea you ran your own gig until this weekend, or until John and
Yeah.
Roland
So,
out there.
so what pretty much started it was I started fencing, and then I had gone to some different schools.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was harder for me personally, I'm not the best at grammar. I know a lot of people know that. But so being taught sword fighting while being taught another language, I had found was very difficult for me. The first school I went to, I think we were working on Myers and Lichtenhauer.
Okay. Cool.
So
Cool.
yeah. So I was trying to learn how to sword fight, and they were saying it to me in terms that I didn't know what they meant.
Got it.
So
Okay.
that Yeah, so that had ended up being like kind of a hard point for me to I felt like I was using a lot of time up trying to understand what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it'd probably be easiest to kind of go back to the journey on where I first started.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't know anything about it, so
before
I'm
we get
curious.
into that too, can is there a link I can share on my page as well? I know it's some other people had wanted to watch this as well.
Oh yeah. If you want to share my Facebook post, you're welcome to. That probably
Yeah, so I'm
easiest.
on your Facebook page. I don't see the post quite yet.
Let me share it to you.
Try reloading. Oh, here we go. Perfect.
You found it.
Yeah, I'm gonna share
Awesome.
this real quick. Paste. There we go. All right, I got that shared up. Now I'll post it in my Discord.
Oh, like your school's Discord, or like your personal.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I love this.
Ah,
So
so
yeah, you were
sorry, go ahead.
saying basically you're like, hey, I don't know this the lingo that you're using in the Lichtenhauer, and
Yeah,
so
so originally when I started fencing, I started in Boohurt.
okay.
So
Oh, I
I
didn't know
had
that.
my brother sent me a Facebook link that was like, "Hey, there's a Boohurt school opening up right down the road from you, literally like within walking distance." And I've always been me and my brother when we were younger, we used to fight with like sharps from the flea market until they would break, and then we eventually picked up some shanais. We did that for a little bit while I was like 14 or so,
Yeah,
and until
that's
we
cool.
got older.
Yeah, I get that.
And so we both always liked medieval stuff, and he was like, "Hey, there's this school down the road." So I ended up joining there, and it was a Boohurt school. Back then, it was mostly just Armored Combat League ACL before they split into two.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, so I started doing that like 3 days out the week. I went to all the classes, and then about 3 months in, I tore my ACL. I was doing a leg sweep on someone while someone pulled me another way in a melee, and it tore the ACL in my knee.
Brutal.
I didn't fully know it was torn because it's kind of weird when you tear your ACL. It hurts for a second, and then
Mm-hmm.
like you think you're fine,
Yeah.
but you like can't put any weight on it.
Yep.
So I kept fighting. I like had someone up against the wall, and I tried to grab someone else and pick them up, and my leg just collapsed in armor. And I was like, okay, something might be wrong with my knee.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so then I ended up like going to I was in Medicaid, and I ended up entering an armored combat tournament, first tournament I ever entered in. I went up to hit the dude with the sword, and we both pushed, and then my knee buckled behind me. This was about a week later.
Mm-hmm.
And so first tournament I ever entered, I got TKO'd in the first 10 seconds and lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because your knee just wasn't
so I was like,
up to the
okay,
challenge. Yep.
might not be able to fight for a little bit. So I was like, what else can I do? Because I can't fight in the armor. My knee's just not holding. And so they had told me about HEMA. And I was like, oh, okay. I honestly would have been more interested in fighting unarmored than armored in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
But I only knew about the armored stuff.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So then she was like, there's a HEMA school that you could go to out here. It was mostly longsword stuff. This was back when I was interested in longsword. I didn't think I would ever be interested in rapier. I was one of those guys, that was like, katana's the ultimate weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Longsword's the ultimate weapon.
Yeah. You're
And
a diehard two-hander.
yeah.
while.
So I started going to the HEMA school, and then shortly after, I'd gone there for a bit, and learning the things in different languages were kind of rough.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after that, I fell skateboarding, and I snapped my thumb off my hand, like broke the bone clean in half.
Yep.
And shortly thereafter that, I ended up tearing my shoulder. And so I was like, what can I do one-handed? And this is like probably about like 6 months into my journey. And I had heard about SCA, so I'd picked up rapier, and just could only go light because my injuries. Started doing that, and then started. I still kept going to the other classes, and I decided to start studying the manuscripts. Pretty much started from the first manuscript and started working my way down. So started from like I-33, doing like sword and buckler stuff,
Yeah.
and then also learning in the classes, just so I kind of catch up on the terminology quicker.
Right. The Italian terms versus like the French way of presenting it and so forth.
Exactly, which
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
found that to be just as difficult as learning sword fighting. You're trying to learn another language at the same
Yeah,
time.
you're learning history in the specific language.
Yeah.
Very
And
literally.
so then after about a year, I was finally able to get my surgery. So during that time, I couldn't fight like a whole lot because of my injuries. So I was trying to like study and do a little bit more classes. And then after about a year, I got my ACL surgery finally. And my surgery from my hand was at the shortly before that, and my shoulders. So I couldn't do anything. So I just really started studying the manuscripts. And what I had decided was, I was like, why isn't there an easy system to speak in terminology? Because as I'm taking notes, I'm like from Vomtog, do a like Mandrito Findente, like in this certain time, and I'm mixing all these different languages in my notes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my own notes start becoming very difficult to read.
Okay.
So I was like, there's got to be a simpler way to do this. And I was like, if I couldn't find one, so I was like, I will just make my own system to be able to read my notes easier.
Right.
So I just created, 5 zones on the body, the direction that the tip is faced, and the zone the sword is in is your sword position essentially. So if the upper right on my body is zone 1 and my tip is forward, I'm in 1 forward. Very simple. For my notes, it just became 1F.
Oh, okay.
Made a clock system. There's a clock around me, clock around the floor, clock around my opponent. So
Do
if I
you
say
do-
throw, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask, do you do like 1, 2, 3, 4, like Italian, essentially?
Similar. So the way I made the system, it's to incorporate all the guards from all the different weapons. I also teach the same system for boxing. Pretty much your upper right from your right eye and your right chest up is zone 1. Mirrored on that side is zone 2. Below your chest on your right side is zone 3, and below your chest on your left side is zone 4. In
Okay.
between the eyes, all the way down is zone 5. So zone 5 is the small middle zone.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then if your tip is up and on your right side, it'd be 1 up. You got 1 back, 1 forward, 1 sideways. It's similar to the Italian in the sense that our first is in the same position. Our second is not in the same position, but our third and our fourth is.
Okay.
And then you just have whether the sword's forward, back, down, or up. And then you have the subzones of low, medium, or high. So say you have like black tigers or people that fight in low guard. Some of them fight where their point is all the way towards the floor, which would be 3 low. If
Mm-hmm.
your point was up a little bit higher, that would be 3 mid. And then if your points mostly where I fight, where it's like up higher than that, but right below the waist, almost in a straight line,
Yep.
then that would be 3 low, high.
Okay. That's cool.
And yeah, so I started writing that. I started doing my system and the clock stuff, so I could be like, step to 3 o'clock, stab at 3 o'clock, pretty much all of that. And then I ended up doing really good in a lot of tournaments, and I ended up finding myself helping teach a lot of classes in a way to simplify the terms. And eventually, people were like, "Hey, will you teach me?" And then a lot of people were like, "You should just open up a school." Um, so that you can, do it full time and learn more and all of that good stuff. And so that's pretty much what led to me end up opening up my own school. And then one reason I also opened up my own school was I couldn't find necessarily what I was looking for, where I wanted a martial art group that just liked combat and all weapons in general. And so at our school, we do spears, we fight with sais, montantes. We have a lot of MMA people. So if people have taken the courses, we allow punching, kicking, grappling. So we kind of have like a separate, not really rule set at the school. We kind of do like HEMA stuff, but we also allow like head kicks if people are like trained for it, stuff like that. We pretty much I've come together with a big group that has joined that a lot of us are like, well, what if back in the day I just happened to have this on and this guy had armor and I didn't? Or
Yeah,
I
yeah,
happened to
yeah.
have a long sword on me and this guy had a katana.
Okay. So you just want to play, like experiment, play, like kind of
Exactly,
try out different
exactly.
stuff, and that's fun. I like that. I think that's a unique take on a school, because most schools tend to be like a Spectin or a for the human guys.
Exactly. And then a lot of them tend to teach like one master.
Right. Yeah.
I tend to teach a little bit different. I do teach the masters as well, but I teach by biomechanics and the costs and the benefits of every single movement.
Mm-hmm.
I found that I also teach a lot of the classes by concepts instead of certain drills, instead of being like, we're just going to do this drill. I'll teach the biomechanics or a class by concepts. One class might be like deceits. We teach all the different ways to deceive, footwork, feints, or another class on beats, all the different ways to beat the weapons and ways to counter the beats.
Yeah.
Um,
That's cool.
so with that, it kind of then helps fall in a sense on how um, a lot of the masters and techniques came to be, is they tend to have followed certain concepts or biomechanics that tend to help you end up fighting in a certain way. For example, if someone holds their sword palm down and likes to only attack in a straight line, and then the way they hold their wrist a lot of times end up affecting your footwork and your parries and stuff like that.
Right. What you can and cannot do with that always pronated epee-esque style.
Exactly, exactly.
Right. Okay. That's very cool. That's a very different journey. It's
It has been.
in,
It has
into
been
this.
a fun one.
I was like, mine was not as injury plagued, but I also didn't start diving into any of the studies of the masters until much later, and even that's like very peripheral for me.
I've tried to I tried to do all the masters in order with the weapons they use, so I kind of understood that how the evolution went.
Oh, like
Um,
chronological order. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
Hmm.
and what I would do is I would take all these notes on different things they said, and then eventually I grouped up all my notes. So I was like, this master says this about feints, this master says this about feints. Then I took all my notes on the feints and I wrote an entire PDF on like all the different ideas about feints, and then what another one based on all the notes I've had about beats. And this had helped me a lot because then I was like, okay, I want to only study feints for a while. So I would read through the manuscripts again and figure out what all each master would say about feints.
Hmm.
And that actually helped me memorize the masters a lot more than reading the book from front to back, because now I was like, okay, Capoferro does or doesn't like feints, Gigante does or doesn't like feints. And it helped me be able to memorize the masters and then know what they don't like or what they do like. And then I took all those notes I had and I wrote classes based on all of those different concepts. And then filling those concepts, I'll be like use some of the drills from some of the manuscripts or stuff like that.
That's cool. That's
I
awesome.
had found after a while, like just teaching a lot of what the manuscripts was, there was a lot that I actually ended up disagreeing with,
Hmm.
which then I ended up rewriting some of the classes with some more of stuff that I had experienced. And I would usually be like, these masters or some people, a lot of times something will sound good in fencing in
Hmm.
theory, and then it's just not really applied like that, or it's very difficult.
Well, the concepts are very contextual, right? Because you can
Hmm.
say, oh, here I'm using it as a sidearm. I only have um, this weapon with me, but I'm assuming my opponent doesn't have any training, which is a very different context than here's a formal duel for honor and it's the first blood, which is different goals in those contexts.
Definitely, definitely.
So I was like, that definitely makes sense that you can kind of see in like okay in the SCA versus HEMA even like the choices of attacks that you make should be different because they have a different like judgment on what is success.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. And then when people change kind of like what points are worth what really changes how people fence.
oh
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
one of the good examples is I know with Drake and them, they're not as used to like tip cuts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And where I'm at, we're not as used to as foot shots.
Yep. Yep.
And
That makes
so it's
sense.
kind of plays into how people fence definitely.
Right. He gives you a constant threat of that foot shot, whereas yeah,
Mhm.
tip cut folks tend to like always secondary action. If something gets parried, they're gonna try to cut you on the way out, especially nip
Yeah.
the
The way
neck if you
the
can.
way I view cuts is in between my thrusts, I try to always cut to the next place because it
Hmm.
keeps me safe. But my parry, my thrust, and my cut are all the exact same motion too. That way someone doesn't know if I'm cutting, parrying, or thrusting, and then it saves me time training all three as well.
Right. That makes sense. I feel like that is a common combat thread, which is disguising your initial action um, to then branch into every other action potentially.
Definitely. Definitely.
Cool. Well, that's an awesome overview. I hope that you've it looks like you've healed up a bunch from when you first started. The
Yeah,
knee, the shoulder.
my knee's good, my shoulder's good, my hand's good. Lately I had broken my toe, but that's pretty much healed. And then the ligament, I have like a torn ligament in my back and a herniated disc. But I'm going to PT for that like twice a week,
How
so it's getting a little better.
if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I am 33.
Oh, okay. You're still young yet.
I am. I skateboarded and did a lot of crazy or stuff when I was younger, so it's kind of drained on my body a little bit.
Got it, got it. I did a lot of that through middle, high school, and into college. Still have a few videos out there. Got a couple
Yeah,
of free boards over in that time period, which is nice.
I did also see that you do jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah,
So
I
that
do that
that was really cool.
very consistently throughout the week, and I both teach and train for myself. But that is like
Oh,
hobby
nice.
number 3 or 4 or whatever. It's like way down the line, and so I don't compete in it. I'm also very much like I'm masters 2 in jiu-jitsu. I'm essentially second tier old person by age for
Oh,
grappling
nice.
purposes.
Have you tried utilizing some of the jujitsu in fencing?
Uh, it's not super applicable in terms of the function, like the actual actions. It's a lot more actionable in armored, SCA armored.
That's true. I also train jujitsu as well. And I've definitely spent some good time trying to translate them as well. And if you have good measure, you definitely won't need the jujitsu.
Right. I was like measure.
It's more of like a choice whenever I do jujitsu of like, I want to armbar this guy, so I'm going to, or darce him, I'm going to do these specific movements to get there. That realistically, if you probably wouldn't really do that, but it's kind of like a conscious choice you just make that you want to grapple.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's like if you have uh, I mean, a rapier is a sidearm. It's a very short bullet.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
all right. I want to take a look at some of these videos. I watched. I mean, you saw the stream, so we watched it like a week ago. I kind of wanted to get your take, if it's all right, on kind of how your perspective. Because you and I fought maybe what 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, a good
Oh,
while ago.
that was a while ago. Was your school open then
I think it was.
when you flew out?
I think
So
it
you've been
was.
going for a while. So
Just I've had the school for about 4.5 years now. So
okay,
I
so it must have
think it
just opened.
had
If
been open.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because we had opened up kind of around COVID time, which was rough.
yeah, I was like, that's a tough start to it. Because I remember you came out to hang out with Tora when he was in area, and that's like
Yeah.
2020, 2021, that range.
Yeah, that was a good time. That was a good time. I was super sick when I came out, but I had a blast.
Yeah, very much. Tora being around, at least for me, was very impactful. I got to grind against somebody who was top notch as a fighter and had
Yeah, I feel like
good
that's
information.
so important at our level, being able to keep fighting people that are really good.
Yeah,
It's hard to
right.
progress without that.
Exactly. That's I'm with you. That's the way you stay sharp, is to fight at a level that is going to push you. All right. Let's see. I'm just looking at the video list here. Is there one that you want to watch? Because I haven't watched a lot of these that you posted recently.
I do remember you were requesting to see the best of nine.
Yeah. Is it?
Um,
Which one is it?
that we had done.
With you and John.
So technically, there was only one pass that we had nine. Um, but we did end up doing it was kind of supposed to be a best of nine, but it ended up a best of 25.
Okay.
Um, the only one that we actually did nine passes in is when I had the when I had the bastard sword.
Okay. So the best of 25 here is going to be your.
Correct. Would be the
Okay.
best
Let's
one.
watch that. I'm going to pull that up. Okay. So you're fighting Case. Is Case
I
your
am.
like if you had to pick one you got $1,000,000 on the line and it's life and death? Is that what you would pick?
It would probably be case or bastard sword.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I say it one more time.
Oh no, I was just that's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. I love case personally. I like two equal length rapiers being able to attack from both sides, left or right handed, is a lot of fun. And it's more similar to boxing chops.
Yeah, very much. Have you fought Will Death?
I have not, but I have watched his fights before.
Woo, that's close.
Yeah, that's
That's a frame away.
That's very, very close.
In your mind, what goes like? What do you think about when you're fighting him, if anything, on the conscious mind?
So there's actually a lot that I think about usually when I'm fighting John.
Mm-hmm.
I approach it like how I approach most fights, but on a different positioning. I'm very big on positioning. In my eyes, you usually have people that main dagger or main sword, meaning a lot of people that are really good with dagger, they will mostly defend with the dagger and offend with the sword, and
Mm-hmm.
they will mostly try to take your blade with the dagger and attack with the sword. And John does that. And so I a lot of times will try to keep right eye alignment, meaning that my sword's in line with his sword or my lead foot to his lead foot to avoid his dagger, especially because he keeps usually the same stance. So if I step to the left, then usually his dagger will have more distance to cover because he won't normally change his guard as much.
Okay. When you say lead foot to lead foot, do you mean you're going to take your right foot and stay in front of, like squared to their right foot or John's right foot?
Yeah. So my right foot would be in line with their right foot, and our right eyes would be lined up.
Yes. Like in this case, it's hard to see the depth, but in this case,
Correct. And
right eye to right eye.
and then usually I'll try to feint the dagger and then like attack on sword side and some different things like that.
Okay. I
So
like that.
here what I did was he'd gotten a good bit used to the scorpion style that we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feinted up to scorpion style to get him weary of the disengage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I attacked with my left sword. So this is one of my favorite things to do in fencing. It's what I
Yeah.
call complete obedience. So what I try to do is I get them in the corner to limit their options,
Yep.
and then I want them to be in aligned with me where I'm attacking into their worst parry and they're attacking into my best parry. and then I would try to force them into the movement and attack them in tempo in the place that's harder for them to defend.
Right.
And the way I had to set this one up was I had used Scorpion to kind of distract him and get him in the corner to get his dagger to react. And then I knew that he would step to the right,
Yes.
because that's the logical way to step. And
Correct.
so I waited for him to do that to then attack with my left sword so that he was also getting closer to it,
Yep.
and then attacked where his sword and his dagger could not reach.
Yeah, the minimum time because he's stepping into it
Yeah.
a bit. So this time you hit him with the switch on the right sword.
I did. I did that passing step to a false advance or critical lunge, or everybody calls it something a little different.
Yeah.
At our school, we call it a critical lunge when you just kind of step that front foot and then lunge.
I noticed you really like that cross step to then lunge.
So I normally don't pass as much unless I'm using Dragon Style or in case.
Okay.
So in this case, I was using Dragon Style with the sword back to the right, which usually the way that that style works is I will bring my arm forward, see how they react. If they bring their sword low, I will simply go high. If they keep or their dagger, if either their dagger or their sword stays high, I continue low. If they retreat, then I will pass and follow. Usually by then they've spent both the tempo of the hand and the foot, and then I can pop that lunge afterwards to try and catch up on that last distance.
Okay, that makes sense.
One of the things I'll do too is I will throw the back sword as I sneak my back foot up, and then I will lunge with my left sword forward after I've stolen measure.
Yeah. You have them reacting, their hands and not their feet. That makes sense.
John's hard to get in on, man. He's got a real good defense and measure.
Yep. Quick feet. Generally mobile. Do you compete in both HEMA and in SEA?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll actually be going to a big HEMA tournament in November that Tora and a bunch of others are.
ooh, you got some
gonna
footy
be
from that? I would
entering.
love to see that.
Yeah, he did.
Which tournament?
Oh, sorry, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like which
but-
tournament's coming up?
It's someone at a castle. I think it's called like Annual Tournament of Defense or something like that
Is it a HEMA one or is it
in
a
Texas. It's a HEMA one.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, you got his dagger.
I would do
flipping
more.
everywhere.
I would do more HEMA, but there's just not as many rapier tournaments, especially where we're at, as there are SCA.
Yeah,
But I prefer the rule set and the force levels.
right. You can throw at speed without having to really worry.
Yeah.
So
this is a false attack to the cross parry and then cross cutting across both.
okay.
One of the things that I'll go ahead.
I'll also say, go ahead and finish the tip cut explanation.
One of the things that I'll do a lot of times is I turn a failed attack into a feint. So when I throw an attack before my attack ends, I try to register whether or not it will land. If I see that it won't land, then I will instead stop for a moment and turn it into a feint. So it looks like I'm juking people, but it's really I started an attack, I realized it was going to fail, and so I turned it into a feint.
Right. I have question for you on some of the details here in your movement. When you are in your guard, you're not as low as I expect people to be, if that makes sense. Like not as much knee bend. It's like if you watch
Yeah, that's
Tora
'cause
or
I'm
myself, we're both like maybe we're roughly the same height. We're not that far apart. But I'm like my hips are maybe like 2 inches lower. Do you just prefer to have
So there's
like a slightly higher stance?
There's two things. One, I'm fighting John,
Yep.
so I don't fight as wide because he hits the feet.
Okay, so you want to narrow up like forward back.
Correct. And then another one too is a lot of people when they gain the weapon, they do it with their hand, right? they put their sword on top of the opponent's. When you do this, you spend the tempo of the hand, right? So if I
Correct.
gain the weapon with the hand and they disengage, we're kind of both in a neutral time. I like to gain the weapon with a body sync so that when I sync my body, if they disengage, I still have the tempo of the hand that I can thrust out and hit them in the middle of their disengage.
Okay.
So by being up a little bit higher, it allows me to utilize a body sync. And during the body sync, I can still lunge or I can still retreat, and I still have the tempos of both my hands and my body.
Okay. I have definitely heard that concept where you're reserving like your body tempo and your hand tempo.
Yeah. And then some people are like, well, it gives you a tell, but I want the tell
Right. You're playing off
because
of it.
if I'm telegraphing something on purpose, then they react to my tell, which means that they're essentially in obedience for a minute. I have the initiative.
Yeah.
So if I begin my telegraph and they go to react, I actually have the initiative.
Correct. Yep.
And after they react, I get to go again.
Okay.
You don't want to have a tell on accident though. Like it should be like a conscious, like I'm doing this to trigger something. It shouldn't be like I always, sync on accident before I lunge or
Oh,
load up.
absolutely. Yeah. Right. Dynamic is what is necessary for a high level fight.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a really clean because you did a in this moment when I'm watching this frame by frame. It looks like you have sold a right hand action in this moment just by bringing it up and watching his reaction. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to defend myself as I normally do against a right-handed blade," and so the dagger is doing a right-handed defense against the left-handed player.
So that was the move I was talking about earlier, where I will bring the right cut up while I sneak the back foot up, and then I'll thrust with the left hand.
Okay. Yep.
I have a lot of what I call series. They're series of specific movements. And I remember you guys were talking about this in the stream, like why I don't just call it the specific move. So I can actually answer that for you. Um, so a lot of the moves are so complex, and especially in class or in the middle of a tournament, I don't have time to be like, have your left sword forward, your right sword back, throw a right low cut while pulling your right foot, your back foot up. And then when they bring their dagger down, lunge with your left foot forward. When they cross parry, bring your right foot forward and passing step and then lunge.
Okay. So
So
that's your shorthand for students.
correct, especially because we
Okay.
drill so many of them. The way the series work after we do an explosive like lift, we will drill the series. So what happens is your body recognizes it as a rest period and turns your parasympathetic system on.
Yep.
So when you do the series, it's a series of movements made to exploit different styles, and it gives you time to think and recover. And the great thing is most people are thinking about one or two moves. If I do a series, I'm like, 4 or 6 tempos in that I don't have to think about. And then I just can see how they react while I do the specific movements.
For your series, right? Like it's a sequence of actions, like the
Correct.
flow chart of if thens.
Almost. It's more of like I will do this specific thing. I guess you could say it like that. Like I do certain things to get them to do the proper reaction because like I tell people you shouldn't wait for the opponent to make a mistake. You should just memorize how they do the actions. And then, so for example, like most people, when they try to hit someone somewhere, they aim where they're trying to hit them. I don't do that. I will memorize how far over they parry and I will throw it slightly to the side. So when they parry, they will push it into themselves.
Right. Yep.
Um, and so instead of waiting for them to get the wrong parry, I'm just exploiting them doing the proper thing. And the series are made to exploit the proper action. If they do the wrong one, it'll just take too much time and they'll die. But I will have different series to counter different styles essentially, or based on like different concepts.
Right. I mean, there's a level of play where you're sparring with somebody for 10 seconds and you know if you can just kill them. Like
Yeah.
it's not hard to tell. You're like, oh, I can just down the middle. You're not paying attention to your measure. One shot you, and that's a moot point. That's not the person you're trying to deceive.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I have series specifically to counter Tora, specifically to counter Drake. A lot of the high level fighters, I'll memorize their movements because the thing is most people will train the same movement over and over again
Mhm.
to get it perfect. But I actually find that that can be exploited because they will parry the same zone the same way, the same exact space every time. So it becomes very easy to
Yeah.
memorize and then exploit.
I have I try. I say this with a grain of salt. Of I have multiple parries for each quadrant,
Yes,
and I try
that's
to make
very
them
good.
equal. I say that with the like I said, the grain of salt. Where my oh shit parry, I'm sure it's the same one.
Same, we all got that oh shit
Yeah,
parry.
and that's a normal thing. So if you can force the oh shit parry and then exploit it, it's just done.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. The way that I teach my parries is I kind of teach them as concepts. Like you have like an absorption parry, you have a steel wall parry, a sweeping parry. Like I can do a absorption steel wall false edge parry. So we finished 9 passes.
Hmm.
Um, so that one was the 10th. So I think the score from the best of 9 was I had 6 and he had 3.
Nice.
But we ended up going all the way to
That's
25.
cool. That's great.
Yeah. Got the foot again,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I was gonna say he's racking up his points in the foot.
Hmm. It's usually where he gets me.
It's a fun one to watch. It's a unique. I feel like you bring a pretty unique um, set of actions to the pool.
Thank you. John, I really enjoyed fighting John. I feel like it's kind of hard for me and John to just kind of grind wins against each other because we have so much like I don't there's some people I don't have as much fun fighting, but I have a lot of fun fighting John.
Hmm.
So a lot of times it's just fun to do crazy shit because he'll fight it out with me in the pocket
Hmm.
and then get out instead of like fully just trying to keep like retreat. Like it's a lot of back and forth and we'll get a lot of really deep and crazy exchanges, which is a lot of fun. Definitely one of my favorite people to fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the pocket is fun.
Yeah, definitely. And then here I had started to kind of get used to the jump bind that he throws a little bit more.
Hmm. My biggest criticism of John watching the set is one that has stayed, has been consistent, and he doesn't like to parry as tightly with his sword on the high-low sword side. So like
Yeah,
those
he usually
quadrants.
won't parry with his sword. He'll attack with the sword and then cover with the sword, but he usually doesn't parry with it.
I think that's one of the things that makes, like when I watch footage of someone like Tora, is he will change the parry between sword and dagger intentionally. I try to emulate that.
Yeah, Tora does really good at like if they attack sword side pairing with the sword, if they attack dagger side pairing with the dagger side, but
Hmm.
he almost always captures with the sword. A lot of times, I don't want to say almost always. A lot of times, from what I've seen, he mostly captures with the dagger. He doesn't seem to capture with the sword too often. I know he
Hmm.
doesn't. I don't want to say I know, but from what I've heard, a lot of times he doesn't like to try to kill with the dagger as much for good reason. But he also doesn't seem to try to gain their weapon as much with the sword
Right.
from the footage I've seen and the times that I've fought him personally.
Yeah, y'all you're brawling it out now.
Yeah, we started to get tired. I'm not gonna lie. We both started to get gassed out in the end, and got a little bit more messy.
Yeah,
That's for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, John's got a good amount of like one of his. I think one of his biggest skills, and we've said it a ton on stream, anyways, is he's got the willingness to dig real deep for a fight, like a
Yeah.
much deeper pool than I have for like will.
Yeah, we got 25 passes at real intense fights with
Yeah,
someone is real tiring.
I could see
We
him
fought.
being
There's a
like,
bunch of times.
I refuse. I want to fucking hit him.
I think I had calculated all the passes. So from what I had calculated, all the passes we did and was let's see, 92 plus 37. So almost like 150 pretty much, like 140.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So, in your area, are there people that like I don't know who are the top fighters you may have access to?
Definitely Brandon or Master Eric. He comes to the school a lot. We fight every Friday. He's definitely in top 10 in my opinion. He's very, very skilled.
Cool.
Um, Hawk and Adam are out here, but they don't fence too much anymore. So I think I've probably only gotten to fight Hawk like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I look at
He's
Hawk's
in,
been doing armored and then being king.
yeah, yeah. So
I haven't seen Adam fight
he's
in a
real
minute.
good. Yeah, I think I've gotten to fight Adam like twice.
I feel like he's got
Jordan
like
in the back there. Jordan's really good too.
yeah,
I
Jordan's
fought
super
him in
good.
the finals a good bit.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I fought him
my
a lot over the
school's
years.
practice now is bigger than all the SCA practices. And usually my school are the ones that I end up fighting in the finals. We usually will fill up from like the quads all the way to the finals. So a lot of them are have gotten really, really good. Um, other than that, there's a lot of like pretty good fighters out here. Um, I would say that probably like Dan and Brandon are the ones that I would consider in the top, definitely.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know.
So here,
Yeah.
I really respect John for what he did here. What I had started trying to do was bait the foot, because I was trying to work on just turning my foot in instead of bringing it all the way back.
Hmm.
But right here, I didn't think he would go for the foot because both of my swords were there. But he split right down the center and
I
got
was
the foot
just
perfectly. I was
thinking that.
actually trying to.
Um,
Yeah.
if you tried to parry with one of the blades, there's a little bit of an interrupt from the other blade, right? Like if either do an inside parry.
Yeah, I would have parried up, but I was actually trying to bait the face. Um, Not gonna lie, I was trying to bait the face, and I didn't expect him
Throw
to
it down, yeah.
go and attack where the swords were. So much respect to him for that. Definitely was not
That's funny.
expecting that. I
That
was
was a
trying to bait the face, and then so that when he attacked, I was just gonna turn and rotate the shoulder in and void the shot. Is what I was looking
that's a
for.
good redouble. That's a pretty redouble. Your footwork was good there.
Thank you.
Yeah. You don't do Penzik, right? Typically.
I've been trying to, but a lot of random stuff has come up that stopped me. But this next year, I do plan on hitting
That
Penzik.
would be dope. Would love to see you there.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, you're good. Ooh, good parry, good parry. Hello, chat. Hopefully everyone's enjoying. Um, I think Nova had to AFK for a second. One of the things I'm noticing is he does a really good job of pushing people to the end of the list and playing off of that really well. Like this last um, exchange right here, it's pushing John kind of to the end of the list in function before throwing. Oh, replacement step out. Okay. Looks like he threw toward.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, the pump. Welcome back.
You know, I see the chat. Is there a chat?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you pull up Twitch, there's no one chatting right now.
You said there's no one in the chat.
Oh no, there are. Well, I don't know how many people are actually viewing, but there's not actually any chatting. Oh, hello,
Okay.
hello Dante. How are you? Do you know Dante?
Oh, I see.
They just said hello to
Okay.
you, or I assume you.
There
Maybe
we
me.
go. Oh, I see.
If you're East Coast, I hope you're staying safe from the hurricane. Thank you for hanging out. If you have any questions, you're welcome to talk to either of us.
There we go. I see now. I can go here and watch this in full screen.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Welcome in, chat. For those just joining us, we're talking with Nova about his fights with John on the recent seminar out in Colorado, and I'm just generally getting an idea of what it feels like to be a school owner. It's very interesting to me, as this is something I know nothing about. Is this your full-time gig?
No, I also run a landscaping company and a personal training one, and then I also coach boxing.
Oh, okay. So you do you like kind of essentially do like contract work,
Yeah, yeah.
like per client. That's cool. What kind of personal training do you do?
I try to only do conditioning, MMA conditioning, and fencing conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as big on doing the hypertrophy stuff,
Right. You're not trying to get
but
swole.
occasionally I will get some clients looking for that. And then I'm also a nutritionist as well, so sometimes I will get some people that want to go the nutrition aspect. But I try to mostly just train for performance artists.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that one came real close to hitting me.
Yeah.
This one was fun because we slipped a lot of stuff.
This is at a CrossFit gym from the looks of it.
Correct.
Looking at the gear around. Is it is the rubber mats, I assume they're like pretty like good traction.
Yeah, they be slipping sometimes though. Some
Hey?
people will definitely eat it clipping those mats.
That's what I
So
was wondering,
it's
because I could
definitely
see the, like the
something to
dust
be
on
aware
there.
of. Yeah, they'll slip sometimes or you'll trip on them.
Dante says they'll be at the gym tonight.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, Dante's actually one of my students.
Does that mean you have session tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we have sparring tonight.
Awesome. Do you do VOD reviews or like stream or anything for your students?
I do not. In the winter, I actually started taking a bunch of cinema courses and ordered a bunch of like cinema gear and cinema cameras.
Mm-hmm.
That I will be doing a lot of videos to do online classes and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna start like a Patreon on all of that good stuff
Yeah,
once I get the stuff where I want.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, his ability to parry two swords is very impressive.
I was noticing that you do a really good job of pressing people into the edge of the list or the functional fighting space.
Yeah, so I actually have like an entire like gridded thing out that I've made and made all these zones on the floor pretty much depending on whether someone main sword or dagger changes which direction on the floor, I'll push them to limit their options. If two people are in the middle of the ring, both people can go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to control where my opponent can go, and then I try to control which tempos they're spending and which ones I'm saving.
Okay, that's cool.
It's actually why I don't always do sword before body like a lot of people teach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that you should spend your fastest tempo first. I believe you should save it for the right moment.
Yes.
Sometimes that's spending it first, other times it's not.
Yep.
But if you always spend your fastest segment first, and so say for example, if I feint someone with a body sync and then they spend their fastest tempo, I have my fastest tempo to attack them, and now they have to use a slower tempo to try and stop that attack, which usually
Right.
does not pair too well for them.
This is one for those viewing. This is something that everybody does, regardless of the level or caliber of fighter. Is when we as human beings get spooked, we stand up straight and go, "Oh fuck," which is like that's just what happens. And it's something I try to train out of myself, but I still absolutely do in moments.
You know, what I found causes it the most is it usually comes from being caught in tempo because you want to retreat, and the only way left for your body to go is up because it can't go down or back.
Right. Yep.
So like you'll notice he does it right when my front foot lands
Mm-hmm.
and my weight's wrong. So I can't, well, not wrong, it's just unfinished.
Yeah.
So I end up going upwards when you get spooked.
Yep. He caused. Yeah. He attacked into your step.
Correct.
Yeah. That's the oh shit. I done fucked up right here. Yep.
It's like all my weight's on the
Yeah.
ground. I just planted it. I can't go nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got the lean, and the lean ends up being upward, or driving the force upward. Do you do afterblows at all? Since you're, some HEMA crossover.
Yeah, I feel like after blows should always be counted
Hmm.
to an extent if it's in like one or two tempos, except like so like I kind of have a different rule set at my school that I like the students to follow. So one of them is we take any shot that's landed. I remember you guys were talking about that before.
Yeah.
So if something touches me, I made a mistake and I need to recognize it as failure instead of blaming my other person.
Hmm.
I do remember John was saying sometimes that can cause an issue where people don't like know if a shot's good. But I kind of disagree with that because just because I'm taking any shot that lands on me doesn't mean if I land a bad shot on my opponent that I think it's a good shot, right?
Right.
Because we're
Yes.
always still going to strive to land the perfect shot.
Hmm.
So like if I hit someone and it's not a good shot and they on their honor at my school would go to take it, I would be like, no, that wasn't good.
Right. You wave it
So I
off.
don't necessarily think that taking every shot leads to people like being okay with poor shots because realistically everyone is still going to achieve to throw the best shot they possibly can. So I personally haven't found that to be an issue.
Right. That a lot of it, I have found is like cultural expectation. Because there's definitely cultures that I've walked into where um, anything that touches you is a kill, versus like at least in the culture that I grew up in or came up in, it is forward and positive pressure. Like those are the parameters, and
I always view
and
it.
in line with
Sorry,
blade.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, forward positive pressure in line with blade is the wording on the ruling.
I always view it that my like I always view it as martially.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine that my opponent would poison his blade because why would he not?
Mm-hmm.
So if he were to draw blood, then I would be poisoned. Now, like if I throw a shot and someone retreats and I just hit their mask and it's at the end of my measure and it wouldn't have hit their face, I'll actually call my shot back
Right.
because I hit, in my opinion, I just hit their gear. I didn't actually hit them. I prefer positive pressure 100%. I would rather, be able to go harder and go martially.
Mm-hmm.
But I have found a good amount of places that I've been to, like I'll tag people in the hands a bunch and then they'll like, I know the shot's good, but they'll be like flat. So like at our school, we don't call flat because like 90% of the time when people have called flat, the shot was not flat on them. And so they'll leave the same hole open and they'll get hit in the exact same way 5 seconds later because their mind thinks their opponent made some mistake instead of them. And
Right.
I like to fight martially, and I don't really care much about winning. I just want to, be the best I can be, and imagine it's like a martial fight. Um, so I kind of like if it touches me, I recognize it as failure on my end. But if they don't take the shot that I touch them, I don't mind.
Right. Right.
Like if like so see like that first
Yep.
shot I landed on him, like not good, it just hit his coif.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone were to take the first shot, then I would take it back. I would say, no good.
Right. Right. I didn't quite get to your body on that one.
Exactly. Now, like if I hit someone and they don't take my shot, I usually don't really care that much. I'll just go. I always imagine it. I kind of approach it a lot like a video game. I'm like, I'm just fighting a boss and he has a bigger health bar.
Right. I I have a very similar approach for practice purposes, right? Like anything that touches me is good, and I don't care if they take it or not. It's my job to be so good that I can do it again and do it again.
Exactly.
I think that is a very healthy, like mindset for growth, as opposed to like, oh, it's their fault. I'm not big on.
So that little foot switch I did right there, I call a crescent switch.
Okay.
That one allows me to have my left foot forward and switch to my right really quick, and then just steal a little bit more range since that shoulder is forward.
Right. That I've noticed you
A lot of
switch
times,
pretty fluidly between your stances. Well, like which foot is forward.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
try.
that
I
was
try.
good.
I'd really like to fight left-handed. I have a fight on here, a fight in John Drake where I was left-handed. We could watch that one next. So see, like all of those are glancing blows. So on the
Mm-hmm.
last video, I had put insufficient.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yep.
insufficient's like a HEMA term where it's like you touch, but it's like a glancing blow. It's
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
really good.
Like you said, end of measure, not quite.
Correct.
Okay. I didn't know that was. I just thought it was very. It was a funny way to phrase it.
That's why I didn't put it in these ones. I was like, I guess people that don't know, it kind of looks rude, like I'm calling someone insufficient
I just think
because
it's
they don't
funny.
really.
Yeah.
know that the shot, because on that one it was like I barely glanced his head, so I put insufficient,
Hmm.
and he had like kind of skipped the armor part, like because I actually have pads on my shirt,
Got it.
and
Got it.
so I'd put insufficient.
That's a that's one of the interesting like cultural things as well. Because some people, some cultures take if you touch my mask as my head, or my you touch the coif, or if you touch the whatever armor as part of body, versus others that don't. They're like, oh no, you missed my body.
Yeah, I feel like if I like hit their mask and like it wasn't at the very end of my measure where like I could have put more into it, then it's good. But
Hmm.
it's like if I touch their mask, I'm at the end of my measure, like no damage would have happened. Then like I don't want to win off of like some rule. It's like when I play chess,
Hmm.
like and people do touch and move, like I don't want to win a game of chess because someone touched a piece.
Right. Yep.
Like I'm playing because like I actually like losing more than I like winning because I like solving a puzzle and a problem.
Right.
If a winning is a result, so it's not doing something for me versus like when I'm losing, I'm constantly thinking about this puzzle I'm trying to solve. And if I win all the time, it's almost like you're just putting together the same puzzle all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And so like when I play chess, if I take someone's piece, I'll let them take the move back, because I just want the best game possible. And even if I ended up losing because I let them take some moves back, like it was more fun for me, especially because if you beat them in the end that you like truly beat them with no excuse.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah. Yeah.
being tall and using two swords, I always get the, oh, he's just good because he uses two swords,
Yeah.
or oh,
Yeah.
he's just good because he's tall.
Yeah.
And so even when I win single point tournaments, when other people have rapier and deck, I've won single point tournaments with my 30-inch. I used a 32-inch sword for a long time, and but a lot of times people will always have an excuse, and so I try to find like I prefer when there can be no excuses.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So like right there, technically that one's kind of like a glancing blow, but I gave it a double, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you started cutting. Look at that, John.
I really like this exchange for some reason. It was just a good lockout to the cut right there. This is why I like the cuts a lot because it's just moving through the positions. It adds another form of threat that
Yes.
people
Absolutely.
aren't always used to.
Well, the
It's
arc
weird because in
is.
HEMA they cut too much, and then in SEA I feel like people don't always cut enough.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like
I agree on both
gotta have a
counts.
good blend.
I feel like Hema um, like undervalues how efficient a thrust is as an action, just in
Yeah,
general. Um,
yeah, I agree.
whereas,
A
yeah,
lot of
you're
times
absolutely correct.
too, people are more scared to thrust with doubles allowed because you can like cut and then cut again to get out for like safety,
Hmm.
but like if you have the thrust good, you're good. But a lot of times when you thrust them and you have to leave it in them for a second for the judges to see, then they come around with that cut, can be a little bit more risky.
Did you buy full armor to go do Bohurt?
Yeah, I have a full armor kit. Yep, I got a 16th century Gothic kit.
That's cool. You still have your kit.
Yep,
No intention of getting back into it because of injury.
I will.
Oh, okay.
I still do it every now and then. Like we teach at our school and stuff too.
Hmm.
Um, right now I've just come so far in rapier
Hmm.
that I feel like I'm getting pretty close to being where I want to be. I want to win every SCA tournament at the Big Wars. So
Hmm.
far I've won since that first tournament I lost. I've won almost every tournament I've ever entered in,
Hmm.
at like all the events. And so I kind of want to just win all the tournament at all the SCA events and then kind of do the same in HEMA. And then I might go back and do a little bit more Boo Hurt.
Okay. If you ever want to join on the SCA armored side, it'd be fun to spear with and or against you.
Yeah, I have thought about doing that for the melees,
Yeah, exactly.
definitely.
For
I'm
melee stuff.
not as big on the stick wielding versus the sword, but I mean them melees, man, they look fun.
Right. It's a very different game, right? That's which one is your left-handed
Yeah.
one? This one
Go to the right one.
to the right. This guy.
Oh, so go two to the left now.
Left hand.
There we
Oh,
go,
I
right
see. I
there.
see. I see.
Yep.
Okay, great. So, did you hurt your right arm when you hurt your shoulder, and thus you started fighting left-handed?
Um, yes. Yep,
Okay.
that is actually
How long did
exactly
you
what
do that?
happened. So that how long ago?
No, oh no, no, no. How long did you end up fighting off-handed?
Um, I've every time I get hurt on my right side, I'll fight left-handed. So I've had like my elbow clipped or like my right rib, or like if my hand gets bashed, I'll switch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also do case a lot, so it kind of helps with the left hand.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. It's
And
like usually people injure themselves and then learn to become two-handed or like more ambidextrous.
yeah, the injuries have definitely pushed me to using it a bit more, but I get bored really easily. So I've switched just because I'll get bored of fighting right-handed
Mm-hmm.
sometimes too. And I also have a lot of left-handed students, and I wanted to be able to teach like for my shorter students, I'll fight with the shorter weapon for a long time before I start teaching them stuff so that I can kind of see what it's like to be them. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, left-handed's the same as right-handed, blah, blah, blah. But it's really, in my opinion, it's not.
No,
Um,
different.
the angles of attack and a lot are different.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of helps me teach better too.
That's interesting. You saw that John pulls his guard back in response and doesn't just like parry and lock you out
Yeah.
because he could have stepped back and just parried you because of the sword positioning.
Yeah, I know he won't parry as much on his sword side, so I instead went upwards to keep the gain on the weapon and then went down to the hand
Yeah, that
where
makes
his
sense
dagger couldn't
because he's not going to try
reach.
parry across the inside with his main blade.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
A lot of times I'll try to get them to bring the target closer to me while they move their first form of defense further away, and then
Mm-hmm.
their last form of defense has too far to travel to stop it.
Right. Yeah, if you make it out to Penzic, we'd love to do another set with you.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. I figured one point it'd be cool to maybe have you come out and do a seminar as well.
Yeah, we'd love to come visit your school. Have reason to be out there. Oh
Yeah,
man,
it'd be a lot of fun. A
that,
lot of fun.
that foot shot. Do you parry? Do you parry with your sword on that foot shot? Like, is that in your repertoire? Like when he throws that, you take your left hand and parry across, just like the width of your thigh, to knock it
Yep,
offside,
yep, I will do that
and
sometimes.
then
Yep.
throw with the right hand.
When I fight left-handed, I actually fight a good bit different than I fight right-handed. Left-handed, I do find myself parrying with my sword a bit less.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to try to rush and kill with the dagger when I fight left-handed more.
So you're looking to close like that opening a little bit more.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
that one I was going for the sweep to cut the hand. When I'm attacking that offhand dagger, what I'm actually trying to do is get him to thrust the sword so I could cross parry and repost under.
Right.
John's good at not falling for baits, though. He really knows when you're like committed to something or not. It's really impressive.
Good parry with that sword. That's pretty. And you were patient on before you were posted.
Yeah, I try to man being patient on that repost. I feel like is so key at getting people's parry to pass through. Just
Yeah.
waiting that second to make sure you have the attack. Because a lot of times people are so focused on like everything being like so quick and as possible that, in my opinion, it's okay to sacrifice time and speed for control.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Controlling them because of their actions and reactions.
Yeah. It's hard not to rush as humans or always want to try to find the fastest option.
Right. Yep. Yeah. That pause is a really good tempo disruptor. I have no doubt that that nets you a lot of success. Ooh, would you get a foot on that one?
I did.
Nice.
It's
Get some
always
foot
satisfying when I
revenge.
can get them back with the feet.
Hey, I get it. I rarely hit John's feet, but it is very satisfying when it
He's,
does happen.
he's good at keeping them safe, man.
Yeah. What I don't like
So here I'm
about
trying to.
his reactions to you is that his dagger doesn't trace your sword as much.
Say that again.
I don't like just a personal preference thing. Um, with my dagger, I prefer to have it already locking out your sword passively, as opposed to having to go
Yeah.
to where your sword is going to be. So I'll try to take note of where your sword is going to be and just have my dagger already locking out um, the either the first
So
line or second line.
so like you mean like keeping the adaptive coverage, or do you
Yeah,
mean like
exactly, like
having
adaptive
it covered where
coverage.
you
No, I mean
okay.
like adaptive coverage, as in like I would have because he keeps his dagger I think a little too much to the left because your sword's on the right, his right side of his body. That dagger should be a little bit more like already passively covering that side.
Yeah, so that's one of the so in my opinion, you have two types of styles. You have a stance-based one where your stance does not change,
Right. Yep.
and then you have a conceptual-based style, say like someone has like monkey style or something in like kung fu.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things about this the stance-based styles is if they keep their stance and their guard always the same, then you, unless they have perfect positioning, you get to choose how much time things are going to take.
Yeah.
And so if someone does like to do a stance-based style, then I always tell them that they need to spend a lot of time on always making sure they're in the perfect position where whatever their parries that they want to use are always their fastest and their first ones.
Right.
I will adaptively cover with my sword or my dagger depending on which eye alignment I'm in.
That is
So if it's
such a
right-handed versus right-handed
cool.
and we're right eye aligned,
Yeah.
I'm going to cover with my sword
So you
if
think
it's
either right eye line or square eyes? Is that how it's framed, or like left eye line?
it's right eye aligned, equal eye aligned, and left eye aligned.
Okay.
So left eye aligned is dagger to dagger, left foot to left foot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rotation of
And
your
so like
core, essentially.
yeah, and so like depending on what their best parry or take is. So say for example, Tora's best parry is like parrying down with his dagger, right? And
Yeah.
he's in a low guard.
Yep.
So if I fight in a mid guard and I'm equal eye aligned, my sword is really close to him doing his best parry and his best take.
Mm-hmm.
And now his sword is really far away from my dagger to take. So I don't want to fight Tora equal eye aligned because I'm feeding into his best parry and my actions are taking too long.
So you would fight Tora. Let's see. He is there. So you would fight him left eye
Correct,
aligned.
either left or right. If
Okay.
now his best parries is parrying down and up with his dagger. So if I am left eye aligned, he at least cannot take my sword with his dagger,
Yes.
but he still has high parry options.
Yeah.
If I'm right eye aligned, then his worst parry is his cross parry. By all means, it's still very, very good. It's just the one that he's not as good as the other ones, but it's
Right.
still, phenomenal. But he also has a very good false edge, sword parry.
Yeah.
But the reason why I like to be right eye aligned is because if I feint him, he won't go to cross parry. He'll raise his sword to parry, which spends the tempo of his sword. So you can feint his sword upwards to the right and then cut to the leg where his dagger cannot reach. So depending on stuff like that kind of determines
Yeah.
which eye
Okay. I
alignment
see
I'll be
exactly.
in.
Yeah. You're feigning high to your like from your point of view, the upper left quadrant. Get that sword to trigger and then cut into the leg.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I know exactly that one because I also use that same thing.
Yeah, so like based on like if people's, stance isn't adaptive, then they have the certain holes. But I mean, on the other side, like
Hmm.
you're attacking, if their stance isn't adaptive, then the opening that they have that you're attacking is usually into their best parry. So, that has its own advantages as well. So both, in my opinion, are equally applicable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, So like say like when I do scorpion style or dragon style, the stance does not change because it feeds into well, except in scorpion style, the dagger does not change. It's on your right while your sword is on your right. The reason why it's not on the left is because I'm throwing a downward shot from my right. And if they attack me and if I cross parry and I throw that downward shot, I have closed off my own second line of attacking them. Because since I cross parried their sword to my right, my sword after it throws high, it cannot go low because I put their sword in the way of where my sword wants to go.
Okay. Yep.
So by having the dagger on my right, I will parry them down to the left, which is further away from my first two lines I have of attacking them.
Okay. Yeah.
Versus in dragon style, I'm bladed. They only have two targets. If I want them to attack high, I'll bring my dagger low. If I want them to attack low, I'll bring the dagger high. So it kind of always depends on them goals. But sometimes covering that, like covering the first and second line can be bad because it can also stop your second line of attack if you're wanting to redouble for whatever you're doing.
Right.
So sometimes it's best to parry their sword the furthest away from the two places that you want to attack, in my opinion.
Was that a cut that last time?
That was a cut.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Cut that face. That looked like it was the shot. The forward shot went slightly to his left, to John's left. Cut back.
Yeah.
I also noticed you did one lean in the set, which you don't do very often. Where you like squatted down and lean to your right.
Mm.
Are you like a big stay square over your legs as much as possible? Don't give them the
Nope.
tempo of your.
I'm of the opinion that balance should be manipulated, and not there's a really good quote. What is it? Balance isn't meant to be maintained; it's meant to be manipulated, or something like that, from Jack Dempsey.
Okay.
Um, I think it's okay to sometimes. You don't really want to be off balanced, but you should be able to manipulate it. And sometimes that's with the lean, and sometimes not. It's always hard because people a lot of times have this like never lose balance, always stay in squared, blah blah blah. Which like when you're teaching, certain students to like teach them beginning stuff is like important.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, at like the high level, you should be aware of how to use every single part of your body to your advantage.
Right.
And I think that's underutilized in fencing, where people are sometimes scared to sacrifice something to gain something because they don't understand the concept enough. They only understand the technique to essentially be able to do that properly.
Right. Yep. Yep. That makes sense. Well, you have
It's
to.
like the whole
You have
sword
to
before
commit.
body thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like if you're teaching someone new, you're teaching sword before body so they like know to be safe. But in my opinion, sword before body defensively, yeah, it can be very important, but offensively, um, it needs to be manipulated for both.
Your entry step is very interesting. It's very consistently a kind of a. It's not really a step so much as it is a jump or a hop. Like your
Yeah,
entry
so we
into
call
launching.
we practice a lot of what we call the velocity lunge, where you're advancing into the lunge. And I do a lot of what's called shadow stepping, where like so the way I use eye alignment is you have 4 moments in a fight where you should make a decision whether or not you want to change the angle. So I'm going to keep my eye alignment of defense, meaning the place where he's attacking into my best parries when I'm defending, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I want to deal with the threat or deal with one of his weapons, depending on which of my weapons I want to do it with, I'm going to change my eye alignment. For example, if I'm right eye aligned, my dagger's on my left side, right? If I want to take his weapon with my dagger, I need to step to the right into equal eye alignment to make it faster.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
The cost is when I do this, now my sword is in line with his dagger. So I need to make another decision where I need to change eye alignment again in order to hit my opponent and avoid the weapon that he still has left. And then I need to change eye alignment again to get back to safety. So my first step is usually moving from eye alignment of defense into the eye alignment that I want to deal with the threat. And then, so most of my moves will be like I'm standing, then I will advance to change my eye alignment, and then I will attack and change my eye alignment. And then on the retreat, I will change it again. So a lot of them kind of look like kind of 4-stage attacks where it looks like I'm like kind of juking or advancing or hopping in,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm changing the eye alignment to the direction that will bring whichever weapon I need closer.
Right. The intent in the ideally in advantageous action.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes sense. That's so much of that hinges off of your the angles created by, and you're measuring it by eye alignment, which is very interesting. It's such a different take.
Yeah, I find it helps keep it real tight, and I use it for boxing and jujitsu as well.
In grappling, do you do it? How? I was like, eye alignment is a. How does that tie
Yeah,
into like groundwork?
So think about a lot of times in jujitsu when they tell you to look into your opponent's ear to get the choke tighter.
Right. Right. You're taking an angle. And
Like moving to that specific angle to make it tighter because they're getting closer to like the closing vector and stuff like that.
yeah.
Or what's weird too is like a lot of people don't register if their attack's going to fail. They just throw it without thinking about if it's going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But in grappling and jujitsu, that's a very common practice where like you go for something, you recognize it's going to fail. They don't still like go for the Darce choke, right? They
Yeah, yeah.
mutate to something else. But for some reason, a lot of times in striking, people don't recognize that the attack's going to fail and they'll just throw and then miss. And they had no idea in their mind where if the attack fails, I'm going to stop at this point.
Right. Okay.
And in jujitsu, I find eye alignment's easy to use, and then also knowing the attack's going to fail because you kind of have to use it, right? Like if I want to put you in an arm bar on your left arm, I'm not going to be moving to the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You
in
have to go to my
fencing,
right or my left ear. Yeah.
exactly. So it's like in fencing, if I want to attack this certain side or use my arm to, steal their weapon or move their arm out the way, I'm going to be, moving to the side that makes it closer. But in standing up and in fencing, a lot of people have unnecessary movements where they're just moving around, changing angles, and they don't actually realize why.
Right, right. They don't understand the how to change the distance between the two implements based on that
Exactly.
subtle change. Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
So in this video, I'm using what's called I style. And the logic in I style is that you are locking entirely out like one side
Mhm.
and you're working to the angle to get close to get into critical range. So you keep the angle, you keep it locked out so that you can get close enough to hit with just an arm extension thrust.
Right there. Yeah.
And what you do is you keep that side locked out, you get your angle, and then you do your gains with your body to save you the tempo of the hand. So you'll sync with the body or move with the body so they'll disengage or react, and then you'll just extend the hand and then thrust forward or cut.
Okay. This is very like you're creating a wall to your left. Oh,
Exactly.
and you're forcing the action, so you're stepping in with your body here. Okay.
Correct. Correct. And it helps you be able to close to get to that real close distance by having that full lockout. So you'll notice I'm a lot closer to him than I would normally be. Um, like our swords are very past each other tip wise if we have our arms
Right,
extended.
right. Measure wise, you're willing to be closer.
And then that was just foolish on both of our ends, honestly, to come in
Yeah,
with
look,
the
yeah, you
dagger
were real
there.
close, both of you, with the blade
We were
crossed.
both like, you know what? Screw the swords. Let's
Boom. Yep.
just double.
Yeah, you threw in. I mean, you threw first, so you had the initiation on the dagger.
I did. So this one, I'm working for a specific bait with that cut. I want to throw the cut so that he attacks over my sword so that I can cross parry and riposte under. See, John did good here because he actually gained my weapon with his sword, which I wasn't expecting, which because normally he does it with the dagger.
Yep. Yeah, just a standard
So
inside gain.
what's fun about fighting John is he starts to adapt to the styles very quickly and will change a little bit.
The evolving puzzle. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what keeps it fun. I'm with you. The puzzle is what's fun.
Yeah, winning's just a result. It's not actually in like kind of like an action, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the pursuit of the like solving the puzzle in front of you. Yeah, and the winning is it's a nice byproduct, but it's a byproduct nonetheless.
Agreed. It's a byproduct that shows you're improving.
I honestly think, and I've said it before on stream, but I think Tora's greatest strength is how his pre-read, like he reads people very well before the fight, and gathers information very well, and then makes the adaptation very well. Like I think that is a skill.
Yeah, and that's definitely
underrated.
come from he's been able to fight so many people.
Exactly. Yep.
Because usually, like, based on how someone stances up and their weight distribution, so like how they're stanced up, like the way their weight's distributed tells you which direction they can go more easily.
Mm-hmm.
If they're forward weight, their front legs loaded so they can retreat easier. And then the direction their toes are facing tell you which direction they want to go. Do the bastard sword one on the top right.
Yeah, let's watch it.
The direction their toes are facing against Drake.
Oh.
Or against Rowan's good too. And then so the direction their toes are facing tells you which way they want to go. Their weight distribution tells you which way they can go more easily. And then how they're holding their sword tells you how you should parry them based on, if they're in a two-finger grip, they can't cut as well, but they're probably going to disengage. If you cross parry them and you lock out that full right side, they have nowhere to disengage. They're going to retreat.
Right.
So, usually how someone stances up will tell you exactly how to counter them and which moves they're logically going to do. And then you'll know which master they study, which tells you which concepts they're going to do as well.
Right. The meta that they're playing under.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this bastard sword is like also my preferred. Being able to do range changes and half sword and stuff like that. Honestly, being able to steal range
Mhm.
at the high level is one of the most important possible things you could do.
Oh, absolutely. How long is this blade? It's a
45
okay. So it's a 45 blade from the cross or from the guard.
from the
The
cross.
cross
Yeah.
right here. Yeah, cool. So you got maybe like another
If
2
I
or 3
did
inches
it by
on the handle.
Torah's length, it would be a 42.
Okay.
By how he considers it, but how I consider it's a 45.
Right. You committed hard to that dagger grab on that last one.
Yeah, I did. Sometimes like I wasn't very comfortable with jump binding. It took me 2 years to be able to jump bind and to do the passes like that.
Mm-hmm.
So last time I fought Drake, I didn't really jump bind. How he held his dagger and he worked with me with some things on the dagger actually gave me confidence in jump binding.
Good.
So this time I wanted to make it a point to land some jump binds on him, to make sure that I knew that I was progressing.
Yeah.
So didn't get all of them, but I at least landed some, which helped me, know that I had improved on some things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So see how he did the same, like two dagger parries and then sword parry.
Yep.
So stuff like that is I'll try to memorize those actions to then feint it later on.
Do you have it
So
in your
you'll notice
conscious
right there.
mind?
So if you rewind to the very beginning of this exchange,
Yeah. Is this the beginning? No, a little further back.
so a little bit further back. Let's see. So he goes dagger, dagger, sword in, right?
Yep.
So then I go to feint it again, and he also did dagger, dagger, sword in. So I had the idea I was going to double feint the dagger, parry the sword,
Yep.
put my sword in the left hand and thrust. But I needed him to forget what was happening. So I threw the other attack. Now here is where I go for the feint. So here I'm trying to brain wipe him so that he doesn't do the same parry.
Yep.
So he doesn't know that I'm going to try the same thing that I just did. And then here I try to switch it, go for the feints, boom, and then attack on that side when he goes for the dagger feint before transferring to the sword.
Dagger. Okay. It feels real good when you got someone red in a moment. You're like, ooh,
Yeah.
I know where they're gonna go.
Feels a little bit safer, that's for sure.
I see you're keeping a little bit further measure in this particular set.
Yeah, so since I have my left foot forward, and I have the sword half sorting, it's real risky for me to be close
Right.
and him just feint my dagger. So I wanted to stay out of range of getting feinted.
Yeah, you're staying at that cross step range.
So he did a real good job right here. He could tell I was obviously thinking high. I was like, I'm gonna parry his sword on the inside and I'm gonna two-handed thrust into him. And then he's like, no, I'm just gonna hit your foot. And I was like, shit, he got me.
Was that you trying to do a little bit more of the ice hands right here?
So that one I actually will take my dagger and I will grab my bastard sword and I'll hold it like a long sword. And then I was gonna hold them together and then go for a parry and then just thrust with it like a long sword,
Yeah.
which I'll do a lot of times. I was gonna try to beat the shit out of his sword, honestly.
Right. Just
But he went
overpower
low.
with the half sword.
Yep. In that case, he read me and knew what I was gonna do and then punished me for it. So this exchange I really like. This one I had actually wanted to pull up before. So a lot of what just happened to the naked eye would look like feints.
Mm-hmm.
So none of those attacks were essentially a feint that I had planned. Those were all true attacks that I had recognized before my attack finished that they were going to fail. So I stopped and turned it into a feint.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and if after this, if you want to rewind it, we could take a look at that. That would be good too.
Yeah, it's right here.
So boom, that was a true attack. All these right here are actual attacks that I'm like, okay, they're gonna fail. So if you rewind it a little bit further.
Yeah, we'll bump you back. Yeah, right here.
So those were both actual attacks. and then I realized they were going to fail, so I tried to turn them into a feint, and I no longer committed to the attack.
Okay. Yep.
Then I tried to get back out of range because he threw something at me, and then I went back in for some attacks again.
So that first one at
Tried to
the
mix
hand
up the
was like a
hunt.
legit. You're trying to take the hand.
Correct. And then here at the end, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just have to try to catch him in tempo. Boom, I got out of there. And then here I was like, I'm gonna catch him in tempo. So right as he goes,
Yeah, you saw
I gotta
the.
go.
I think what you saw. I don't know whether you did it consciously or not. Was that little foot movement in the back foot? That was the. I'm stepping up that little bit to launch.
Yeah, and then the thing about Drake too is like, see how his dagger and his sword are in the same line?
Yep.
For some reason, I feel like a lot of times when he does that is he gets ready to attack.
That's the throw time. Okay. Do you think his dagger goes
Yeah.
up a little bit higher when he's chilling, where his sword goes a little lower?
Yeah, like when he goes to defend, he like a lot of times his dagger won't be in the same line as the sword. Sometimes I feel like I could be wrong.
Not as pizza shaped.
Yeah.
I get you. You sort of have a read on when people are relaxed versus when they're intense.
I try
like
teaching
this.
class helps that a lot.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is
see how
yeah,
it's like higher, he's gonna defend more, it seems like.
right. He's ready to retreat as opposed to launch. That's a good observation. That's very subtle, but
Probably
it's
shouldn't have said that on stream.
no. Out him. He can be better. That's how it works. And we can test that theory in the future.
Yeah.
And he has every opportunity to use that against you. That's how that works. That right there is what I give him shit about. That action, that sequence right there, which is so dagger reliant. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dagger parries in a row.
I was like, what's impressive too is the fact that he still gets the parries. That impresses me
Yeah,
because
he's very good with it. Yeah.
not many people could. It's because he doesn't over parry. If you watch John's movements, like this is one thing I'll give him like massive props for, is they're so tight and pristine. Like he doesn't really over move much, like at all. Like his
Yes.
parries are just on point and perfect, not too high, not too low.
Yep. Covers what
So
needs to
it
cover.
allows him to be able to do that a bit more.
My criticism is this could have at any point gone to the other line and then thrown right back into you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we definitely could have closed it, especially because of the grip I was in. If he would have parried with the sword, he could have came back on that same line.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because you're at the end of your stick. The pommel grip. Oh, nice. Up and over the dagger.
That's one of the bad things about only using one weapon. Well, so it's kind of weird. Using one weapon to defend yourself only is susceptible to being feinted. But if you cover the first and the second line with both your sword and dagger, when you get feinted, now both your weapons are in tempo. I prefer to use one weapon to cover and then the second one like right after. Sometimes that way, if I get feinted, I always still have something left.
Right.
But sometimes I will cover both lines. It really depends.
Right. I mean, that's the again using the correct tool for the context. Yeah, you did the step into measure. Right. That forward step, and then the extra small foot tap, and then that launch for real.
Yeah. Yeah, we call that one the critical step at our school, or Tora has a good term for it, the false advance.
False advance.
It's good, but I don't always use it like I'm false advancing. I kind of use it to steal measure, critical measure stealing, which is why we call it the critical step. So that one's a fun series because like I'll literally do those cuts because a lot of people won't think I'm doing anything, and I'll just steal measure while I'm doing the cuts or right after, and change my
right
eyeline
there. That's a good. Watching your feet move, they're close together, so you have a short measure.
Yeah. So a lot of times when I do cuts or like anytime I want to hide something, I get them to look somewhere else. If I want to hide something with my feet, I'll do something with my sword or my dagger. If I want to hide something with my sword or my dagger. I might do something fancy with my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people will let me get those 2 cuts, but usually by the end of that second cut, I stole the measure and I got
Yeah.
the eye alignment I wanted.
Those that movement right there was pretty good. I like
Thank
how
you.
you snuck it in. Yeah. In this moment he did
Just
not notice.
enough.
His
And
brain
then
was
notice
focused on the
how
weapon.
exactly. And then when I take this first step, I know he's going to see the first step. So if you notice, that's when I choke back on my sword.
Yep.
So I'll do that first step. So then he's looking at my feet, which allows me to choke back on the sword. Then I'll sink low. So he reacts to the sink after being higher, which then clears the way for the thrust.
That is interesting because you got his dagger to trigger down. I think more on your hip sinking than anything else. Like your sword came
Exactly.
back. It didn't really like threaten his legs or anything.
Exactly. I utilize my body in the sink a lot for my feints because I don't want to use my other tempos, and people really respond to that.
Oh
And if they
yeah.
don't respond, then I'll just gain the weapon.
Right. Okay. So you're using that like lowering your hips, being like a cat about to pounce to trigger.
Exactly.
Okay. That's
Especially
cool.
because like a lot of the cuts and things I do, you always got those people that's like, oh, if he does that cut, I'm just gonna do this. Like if it's like a movie or something, he does that fancy attack, I'm just gonna do this. Or they're like, oh, well, if he telegraphs it, I'm just gonna do this. I utilize that, and I'm like, okay, well, I know that if I go to telegraph this, then they're just gonna be ready to attack. So what's the easiest way to kill someone is to get them to attack you because they're bringing the target closer and they're locked in tempo.
Mm-hmm.
So if you utilize the tells to get them, to go and pounce on them, then you can really control what they're going to do a lot easier that way.
That makes a lot of sense. Chat for those hanging out who aren't already attendees or students over at Synergy Sword Arts. Um, this is the school that Nova owns. I assume. I guess
Yep.
that could be too
Yep.
much of a presumption, but I assume you own it and run it as the lead instructor, and it's very cool. I like the concept. Just enjoying the mesh of weapons and seeing what happens and building that off of the fundamentals of movement and of good mechanics. Um, are you intending to? You said you got a class tonight, right? That you got to go to.
Yeah, I still got a half an hour. I set aside 2 hours.
Oh, cool. That's dope.
Yeah.
And you said you might be a Penzic? Is that a current maybe, or is that like a I'm gonna
I
be a
am
Penzic?
I'm trying so this year I'm going to Great Western War. Next year the goal is Penzic and to bring out a good amount of students because I think there's about 60 of
Okay,
us now.
that would be awesome. I would
So
love to see you and your crowd, especially. What happily like Penzic always seems to have good downtime days where it's just chilling on the pickup field and hanging out and just fighting everybody you want to get your fill.
yeah, that'll be awesome. I definitely am looking to try and hit Penzic this next year for sure. That one I've heard so much good things about it.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good time. And there's so much to do. I can never do all of it, ever.
Do you usually go out for the first week too, or just the second week?
I personally do 2 weeks every year, and I have done so now. This will be my 12th year coming up. Um, to
Is
me,
there
the first week is like vacation. Just chill and hang out with people.
do people normally still fight much at all the first week?
The first week fighting this past year, fighting began on Tuesday, and so I'll show up on the pickup field and do either armored or rapier. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Might take a day off in between there, and then Friday is kind of opening ceremonies. A lot of people show up, and then war kicks off by Saturday.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and so there's just non-stop stuff between Saturday, Sunday when the rest of the people come in and fighting really starts, and then all the ceremonies and parties start, and then it goes hard all war week. I don't know if you're much of a party human, but it is definitely good for that as well.
I don't party as much anymore. When I was younger, I partied a lot. We used to like throw raves, and I DJ'd and
Nice.
residented at a good amount of clubs and stuff. So nowadays, I don't party as much, but I do like the fighting.
Yeah, hey, there's tons to be had. If you join the armored side and you happen to be allied with us or just want to hang out, it's like we form a spear squad pretty regularly. We're A bunch of friends will be on the armored side, and sometimes John will take sword and board. We'll just go be a unit together and go run together. It's
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
that would be fun. I was thinking about that too. That'd be fun to group up with you guys
Yeah, it's just
and
enjoyable to fight with friends because it makes for a more like fun shared experience. Um,
the melees are definitely what I prefer more than the tournaments. I really love the melees.
the melees are pretty good. This past year, I don't know if you saw any footage, but the rapier one had like buildings and choke points and like side like goat paths. It was a pretty good.
Oh, I did not know that.
It was a pretty good setup. It was fun to play. It didn't, for me, the most boring version, especially on the rapier side, is a static line. That's boring.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree
I don't
100%.
I want the line to be broken up, to be have opportunities to hit it from different sides and gain advantage and to ebb and flow like war would. Um, Unless one side had all the archers.
We had we have Battlemore out here, and it's at a new location, and there's like the like smaller tree thicket with like the bear trails.
Hmm.
And man, doing the melees and that is the most fun I've ever had fighting in the woods with those type of trees.
That's
Like,
awesome.
because it's crazy with the helmets, like how much people can hide in those woods without seeing them. Just like you be fighting and like a couple feet away from you, someone will just like pop up in the thicket. Or I was running down this bear trail all like hunched, because it's like brush. And then someone just comes barreling down at me with the spear and just followed by like two people.
Yeah.
And luckily the spearman was my teammate, so he ran past and I killed the other two people. But I was like, in real life, if you're in the woods and then some dude with a spear just pops up out of nowhere, just runs you down like a boar,
Yep. I
that'd
mean,
be
that's
crazy.
if you're going for martial, fighting fair in a duel is not what you're going for. You're going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, hey, I appreciate your time and hanging out. Thank you
Yeah, I
for
appreciate you
making
having me
time.
on.
Yeah. Anytime. If you have anything you ever want to do in the future for streams for your crew, for your school, or just if you have folks that have questions about anything, have them reach out. I'm happy to review their footage, or just have different takes on the same footage because I like having different
Yeah,
people's experiences and
definitely.
talking about it.
Definitely. Maybe again here soon in the future when John and Rowan have some time, we could all hop back on together
Yeah.
and give a collective insight. It would be fun.
We could do one maybe with everybody and break down maybe some of the students that they interacted with at your school and just some of their footage, something like that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I think that would create a good learning environment for those watching as well.
Yeah, the students definitely went back and watched your guys' critiques and are definitely working on it. They're real
Cool.
dedicated, which is nice.
Hey, I think that's wonderful. You've created a very healthy culture of like a growing and being better, as opposed to just like I'm here to win. Um,
Definitely. That's one reason I had to do the bow nines is because they'll always like try to implement what they just learned, but sometimes I like want them to fight full. So it's like Dan, for example. I had Dan go to do his best of nine against Rowan so
mhm.
that he would like actually like fight to like his top tier. And then he still ended up doing a lot of the style and stuff that they had just taught.
Oh yeah,
it,
yeah.
it always cracks me up because like afterwards I was like, Dan, you're supposed to be, fight full. He's like, well, I was. Their style just seemed the most optimal for the moment, so I did it. And I'm like, that's why I love you as a student. I
Right.
was like, because they immediately try to implement it,
The
and
sponge.
it's rare. It's rare to find people that a lot of times people will go to seminars and then it's like when they're sparring or whatever after it's like they don't even try to do any of the stuff.
Right. They're still doing the habits that they have or had.
Yeah,
Yep. Teaching is its own skill, right? And you know that well. And coaching individually versus classroom is also separate skills.
agreed.
Chat, yeah, go check out Synergy Sword Arts if you're in the Colorado Springs area. Um, I hope that your classes go well tonight. And yeah,
Thank
let's get a schedule. We'll brainstorm some ideas offline and pop back on to see what else can be done.
definitely awesome. Well, it was a pleasure, buddy, and you have a good
Yeah,
one.
likewise. You too. Have a good night. Chat, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate all of you. I think I want to poke Nick and see if we're gonna do some Deadlock tonight on stream. For those who are gaming fans. Do you game at all, Nova? Oh, they bounced. That's all good. Let me message Nick. Let's find out. Let's see here. Deadlock? Chat, does anyone else know what Deadlock is? Or am I like just by myself here playing this game and being obsessed with it? Oh, Nick's ready. All right, I'm gonna pop over to his Discord. Let's see if we can get Discord fixed for y'all so you can hear him.
Hello?
Yo, whoa, you're super loud on this OBS. Hold on a second.
You're on the streaming computer?
Yeah.
Are you still streaming?
Yep, I'm live now.
All right, cool.
So, minimize the breaking TOS. Other than that, we're good. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Let me turn you up in Discord. This is
You ready for your trip next week?
I got a pack still. But yeah, I got all my travel stuff squared away, so I'm good.
Let's see. Gaming. Deadlock. Hey, look at that. Application audio. Okay. I always want to make sure like Deadlock isn't too fucking loud. Hey, look at this play mode. What the fuck? This is cool. That's different. That's
yeah,
new.
the patch dropped on Thursday, yesterday.
Oh, I've gotta exit and come back. Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right. I think I might have to turn my game down in order to hear you.
Oh, you got game up on blast.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think most of my stuff is loud, but I just turn it down in my headset.
Do you use headset for streaming like consistently?
I use this headset, yeah. What I do... Oh boy, let me pull up my OBS so I can look at it. I haven't figured it out perfectly yet, because I'm not an audio king, nor am I a Streamlabs aficionado. But
hey, same.
I've been because for some reason my Discord isn't coming through on stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to change, I've had to add an audio output of my headset to Streamlabs, and then so the stream hears what's coming through my headset.
Oh, okay.
So that way they can hear, hopefully all the notifications and, Discord and the game. And then I only have to balance it once in my headset. And they should hear exactly what I hear, but
right.
I'm not great, and maybe that's not the best way to do it.
I'm in the same boat as you are in, of I'm not sure if it's the best way to do it, but I do the thing where I have a nested everything, and I just individually control the audio in OBS.
Yeah, I recently got a Stream Deck, and that gives you access to Wavelink, and I haven't figured out how to import the Wavelink channels into Streamlabs yet.
Okay.
Because I got the Stream Deck Plus, which has the dials on it.
Yeah, that's
Oops.
cool. Sorry, I got popped out to mess with the
you're
audio.
good.
Yo, fucking Deadlock was loud. I'm trying to not blast myself here.
You're good, man.
All right, we should be good. Let's see if I go to gaming. All right. Hey, there we go. We're good. All right, I'm ready to play.
Hell yeah. Can pull you up and get you your ad money.
I appreciate it. All right, who are we gonna play tonight? Oh, this computer doesn't have the saved. Oh, interesting. It's not computer. It must be saved on the computer itself.
Oh, you don't have any of your presets from,
No, give me a second here. I'm gonna make
are
a.
all your keybinds the same still?
We will find out. I guess we'll find out.
This will be a hunt to
I don't need the patrons to kill Haythorn.
I am a Haze main
don't have time. My
with a
bow
Grey
is
Talon
yours.
secondary. I
I'll
think
make
Vindicta
justice as a fan. Be careful out there. I
should
can
be
do
pulled off
this
my
on
roster.
own.
To be honest,
Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I got you.
She just got nerfed, but I think she's still all right.
I'm a big fan of Infernus. Who else have I been playing? Seven's good. All right, great. We're good. At some point, I want to learn Pocket because I feel like Pocket can be so OP.
Yeah. It's the pocket ult is really strong, but right now I think any shotgun character is so strong in lane, especially after the orb nerfs. So what they did is they made denying harder. Your opponent's orbs will show up smaller in lane, but I feel like all orbs are smaller in lane instead of just the opponent's orbs being smaller.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
the hitbox is the hitbox smaller or is just the literal visual representation?
I think they intended for the hitbox to be smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whether it is Melanie, you have to test.
Wow, this game looks beautiful on your screen.
Oh, thanks.
What kind of computer is that?
I can send you the stats off stream.
Okay. You got motion blur on and everything over there.
I don't know. I just the settings are whatever the settings were automatically.
Yeah. I had to turn my stuff all the way down.
I did spend a good bit of money on a couple of computers when I first started streaming.
Nice.
Hopefully that spot gets filled. Oh, interesting. Oh, they never used to do this. Where it's like they let 5 in.
Oh, yeah, where you don't have a sixth, or
Yeah,
sixth
that's
isn't
different.
showing up yet. It's not showing as DC. They'll probably kick us out of the game.
Oh, the thing where it's like, hey, it's safe to leave game now.
No, if the lobby doesn't fill up, I think it'll just cancel the match and then we'll start again. Because
New.
that guy didn't show up. Usually it just shows disconnected
Oh,
icon.
there it is. They're at least
Yeah.
disconnected right now. Do you think they dropped? We in this. All right.
Do I think they dropped what?
Do you think they dropped while trying to connect?
Probably.
Chat's fun. Chat remains fun, whether in game or otherwise.
Yeah.
Do you? How long do you think it would take? Let's say 3 of us, or let's say 4 of us. You, me, John, and Simone to win once with every character.
That's a good question.
How many characters are there right now? 20?
There's 21, 22 maybe, because
So
they just
22.
added Mirage.
Let's say 45 minutes on average a piece.
Yeah.
How many minutes is how many hours is that?
If we get
Say we
4
win
characters per game, if we get lucky, and we get a new character every game,
22
4
times 25
characters,
divided by 60, so it's
minimum
60
5
hours.
games, maybe 6 games. That'd be like a minimum of like 6 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours, 6
So
hours. I don't think that's that.
I think we'd be going on a 24-hour stream.
I don't think it'd be that
For
bad to
sure.
do. I think that'd be a pretty fun challenge.
I think it would be a fun challenge too. We got kicked.
Yeah, sad.
But I think that's looking like a 24-hour stream right there.
Yeah, we would have to set it up for like the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything holding up where you are with the hurricane?
Unable to match. Start the party match. Matchmaker error. A member of your party has
What
an
the fuck?
out-of-date client version.
Does it say which
Huh.
one? Oh, is it for both of us?
Maybe.
What the
I'm
fuck? I
gonna exit
literally just
game
did
and-
this.
Yeah, I'm gonna exit game and
Yeah,
start
yeah,
again.
same scenario. What the fuck? Yo, Deadlock, chill out. Got all these updates.
Yeah. Oh, it's finally showing my game update available.
Download the latest update on Steam. Oh, I gotta go to Steam to download it. Okay, okay.
Yeah. There it is. 10 megabytes.
Yeah, you're all holding up all right with the weather coming through.
Oh yeah, we didn't get a single drop of rain here,
We
unfortunately.
did it just
I
hit
mean-
like Georgia and up north of that?
Yeah, it hit further east of here.
Okay. Last I looked, we in Virginia and the Carolinas are all like on the edge of it, where the Carolinas got some flooding.
Okay.
That was like the worst of it.
Yeah, we didn't get a single drop of rain. That was kind of sad. I wanted to have like a proper it's raining all day. I'm going to sit in my room and play games all day. But
Oh, the rainy
yeah, the
gaming
rainy
session.
game sesh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that.
But no rain, so I just gamed even though it was bright outside.
You just feel worse about it. That's all. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me enter a queue.
Okay, let me get you in here.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, this shit's all busted.
Yeah, I have turned my master volume down to 5% now.
What is going on with this game?
I don't know.
I went to go update it and it was fully updated. So I don't know why it marked me as not updated. All right, I'm in. I accept.
There we go.
It thinks I'm in a match.
It thinks you're in a match already? What the
Yeah.
heck?
Waiting on party member. It says, although it also says waiting on party member. But when I click confirm, it said I'm in a match. What? Confused. Is it confused?
Are you logged in on your other computer?
No. Let me see. Oh, I have a rejoin. I'm gonna click the rejoin. Let me see what match I'm in.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm in an. Okay, I'm in a match, but there's a DC on this match apparently. There's 2 DCs. I think I can leave this match. Will it tell me if I'm going to be penalized for leaving this match? Okay. What the fuck? All right, I'm out of that match. Let's try this again. Play deadlock. I can confirm. I can confirm. Okay, okay.
All right.
They didn't do the weird thing where it's like, if you leave, you will be penalized. It looks like maybe it's buggy enough right now that they're not going to penalize for leaving.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my guess.
I mean, if we're searching, if we're queued up and we're searching, we're probably fine.
Yeah. Oh, I need to change my game on Steam. Fuck. All right, that's fine. That's
Oh
fine.
yeah, you're still in just chatting.
Yeah.
Hey, we got the same lane.
I won't
Nice.
stop until they're dead.
Oh, are they connecting? They connecting? Maybe. Do we get to play this game? Hell yeah.
Nice. There we go.
I don't know if I know how to change my category fast. Fuck. That's all right.
You sacrifice so much in the name of duty. But today, you will be made whole.
Ooh, got a pretty hard server lag spike as soon as I landed. Interesting. Okay.
The new character, his gun hits so hard, by the way.
Oh, it's a dude with the stash and the beard.
Yeah, Mirage.
Okay. What's their like the general archetype?
His lore is that he is carrying a genie. Fuck, of course I'm stuck here, dude.
Look out for Mirage.
I just got stuck on the
Equalizer.
on the wall.
They are just chilling at our base.
Yeah, I'm basing. I've got to heal.
Yep.
Nap time.
Oh, I messed up my movement. Even though I had the base because of it.
There's like a ×1, ×2 that's happening right now.
Yeah, so that when that expires, you will take 16 times the stack in spirit damage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that a Mirage thing?
Yes,
Okay.
that is a Mirage thing.
That's cool.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, this Dynamo wants to get up in our face.
Yep, sure does.
Don't get dead.
Yeah, his gun doesn't fire super fast, but it does a lot of damage.
On the bridge in the middle, and then Dynamo on the left behind the tower. He tried to dynamo me, I guess, or whatever the fuck that was. I'm buying stuff.
Bedtime for you. I walk in shadow.
Ooh, I stole one. In a struggle.
Oh yeah, and when it expires, he gets vision of you. Sorry,
Oh,
it's
good to know, good to know.
stupid
Through
utility.
invisibility. Or do we not know yet?
Say again?
Is it through invisibility?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I see.
Because his ult is that he can teleport to anybody he has vision of.
Okay, I gotta run back to base. Sorry. Be right
You're
back.
good, you're good.
Didn't get that healing item to start. Oh, to watch the stream you just had, if you go, there should be saved videos, but if not, I'll post the VOD tomorrow. All right, I got
I gotta buy.
1,200. Oh yeah, you might not be able to until the stream ends. I'm not certain about how that works. But that's a very good question. Yeah, you might be stuck watching me play Deadlock for the time being. Ooh, there's a teleport. Or there is one teleport.
Wow.
Slept him. He's burning. You're burning him. Oh, the loss of farm hurts.
There's some decent gear I can buy.
They're going to our middle.
I think they're coming through here, yeah.
They're going to our middle. They're going to our middle. Ooh, boy. That Mirage hurts.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Dynamo on our store.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, for the call outs.
Oh my god.
Mirage is looking for that angle. You need to go back on
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna stand on the healing minion.
the Yep. I'm just keeping the wave clear. Any other big patch changes that we should know about?
Say again?
Any other big patch changes that we should know about?
I mean, a couple items got moved around. Oh my god.
Oh, Dynamo's here. Dynamo's trying to make a play on you. Where the fuck did they go? Where's the Dynamo? Hell yeah.
Impressive work. Dance through my enemies.
Nice ult. That was pretty.
Thank you.
I hit him from the side.
I'm just trying to shove the lane in
Yep.
and get some heal.
Alright, we shoved him. Oh.
Oh my god, dude, this guy still hit me?
Oh.
I hit all of my movement abilities and he still gets me.
That Dynamo. At least for me, from nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea where he came from.
That's a good angle. Alright. I have my comfort
I think
ult.
our tower's gone.
Yeah, tower's definitely gone.
Our blue guardian has been defeated. They took out Infernus.
Yeah, his
Mirages?
no, yeah, Mirage's #1 ability is basically a Wraith ult that he just gets every 16 seconds. It's so stupid. He dashes through you and then you're stunned, suspended in the air for like, I don't know, a second and a half, 2 seconds.
I don't know how to ping our friendos. It would be like, hey, they roll their lane, they're gonna go to yours.
Yeah, there's no missing ping. You just tab and then
Yes,
click
I
on
see. Trained me
their
well.
icon.
I see Viscous.
Oh,
I'm gonna hop over to green real quick. See if I can't get a kill.
Yep, yep. I'll keep him off the walker at least. Nice. They're looking at me.
Nice, got 2 assists.
Okay. Hell yeah. Get you that gold. We need you to be
I
rich.
will bring down the mightiest warrior.
Yep. Alright, I'm headed back to blue.
We have Viscous and Robot. That's fucking
Oh, Bebop.
Give up.
Mid-boss has arrived.
We're of comparable farm to the two of them. Oh, third here? What the fuck? Chill, y'all.
Dynamo's knockup scales with spirit power, by the way, so it's only going to get longer the longer the game goes.
Thank you. This gets is also right around the corner.
I'm going to have to buy soon.
Yeah, go buy if you want to buy. It's a good time. You can guard it.
I think they're hanging out.
They're sideways. They're right behind us.
Who doesn't love
Time to disappear.
You want to get this viscous? I found the pocket.
Who else was there? Was it just
It was just
Viscous?
a pocket. I ulted him.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I got the assist. All right.
Nice.
I want to go back off the green lane.
Oh god.
Our yellow guardian has been defeated.
Ooh.
No, I don't go selling these to just anyone. You got expensive taste. I love it. Stay strong, buddy.
Show no mercy.
Alright. I'm gonna basic.
Yep.
Our purple guardian has been destroyed.
Alright.
Only the cunning will survive.
There's so many where y'all are. In green.
Yeah. Ooh.
2 on purple right now.
Just want to make sure that I'm getting the drop on them, and not the other way around.
Nice. Alright, we're doing alright. The kids are alright.
I have a Shiv. Oh no, that's the Mirage. Mirage came to my lane. Alright. I bounced out of the lane. Going back to base. We shoved that first turret mostly down.
They pray for
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oops.
that will
Messed up
never
my.
come.
Oh hell yeah, this one just fucking do a earn run.
Who
Fuck.
among them can stop us?
Say again?
We just got some cash. I didn't know, but apparently it's just 2 robots. Or 2 tier 1s. Towers.
Ooh, Dynamo's trying to hang out over here.
I'm gonna go grab the urn maybe.
I have my orders.
I see Bebop.
Oh.
Go where I wish.
Oh my god, it used his ult to stop my ult. That's so annoying.
Night.
I got killed by a short order of cook.
Fight. fights with
So sad.
conviction. He must be broken.
I tried to go get that urn. No luck.
Oh yeah, they were on the urn. Ooh. This, they haven't picked it up yet.
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna get rolled
The
over there.
spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Do we want to shove this tower?
Which, oh, blue?
Yeah,
Sure.
just get it done.
I'm just trying to like farm up as quickly as I can. Gonna stay relevant.
Yeah, we just lost all of our people.
Yeah.
I think we can take. They're in green now. It'll be over soon.
Yeah, we got this.
My plan was to get this and then poof to purple.
Yep. There they come.
Yep. I'm not trying to stick around.
Yep, I'm sprinting to orange. Or I mean purple.
Yeah. Sprint in purple. I want to grab urn.
Okay.
Ah, a courier has arrived.
A courier.
I should have this tower as well.
Nice. Hell yeah. Extra cash.
Alright.
Hell yeah. Flex slots.
Yeah. Well, it looks like there's a
Yeah,
fight
I'm-
on green.
Getting overwhelmed is how I would describe that.
I can't
Uh-oh.
help but notice you haven't dropped me off yet.
Oh, we lost that walker.
You,
Did they
do
leave?
have a
They
plan.
did not.
No. They're still there. I want to go drop the urn and come fight.
Our Grey Talon left. What the heck?
On my way back.
Their dreams will come crashing down.
Wow.
Enemies have breached our stronghold.
What's the matter, Organics? Gone out without Bebop?
I'm under attack.
Got their bebop at least.
Nice work.
Dude was 1-6. He wasn't doing that bad. I mean, 1-6 is bad, but still.
I was going to say. I think we
He's
just spoke
like-
contradictory words.
The whole team wasn't doing that bad.
Yeah.
I've done so much worse than 1-6 in this game.
Yeah, and still win. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we're ahead. We're 85 to 78.
Yeah.
We've been
what
doing
the heck.
objectives and whatnots. I haven't figured out whether someone who like just runs it down is actually worth having on the team. Like it might be better at 5 in this game.
I think the souls distribution isn't like so. I don't know. It's hard to tell. There's no bounties yet.
Right. Exactly.
And
Yep.
and players aren't worth gold.
Right.
So,
and for that reason,
I
like,
mean-
that's where I feel like it's the value could be there right now.
Yeah, like to me the bad part about having a 1-6 player is that you get baited thinking you have a teammate there and you just have a minion.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And League is unfortunately such that you rarely win the 4v5, right? That's just
Yeah.
oh, you fighting?
I'm shoving green.
Being seen? Not being seen?
Bye.
Oh, I got caught. Kill one and died.
Disarm their sniper.
I tried.
Okay. I'm running to blue. See if I can't turn this.
Turn that tide. Use that beautiful explosive ult of yours. Nice. Hell yeah. Fucking shoot that cube ass.
Miss your cube. Miss your cube.
No hiding in safety. I do have to say, getting bowled over does feel very demoralizing. What the fuck? That Wraith ult is so strong. That Wraith ult ability.
Yeah, he basically has TF ult. And it's kind of crazy.
TikTok knows me and has been sending me a bunch of how League players describe X game.
How League players describe what?
Other games.
Oh.
Like he has TF ult.
I think I'm fighting their whole team by myself here.
There's a Viscous on your way back. Careful. I have the urn. I'm next to you.
Oh, Abrams is here. Hell yeah.
You got 2 people with you. I'm going to ignore all of these things and just fucking run the urn.
Enemies have breached our stronghold.
Hell yeah. Good teamwork.
This could be an ambush.
Oh. Right edge. Y'all doing good over there fighting?
Good work, Abram.
Oh my god. Oh, don't get grabbed, don't get grabbed, don't get grabbed.
Do you survive that bebop?
Yeah, somehow I'm still in here.
You're doing good.
Uh-oh.
Nice, nice. Very pog, very swag.
Where is this pocket? Oh, it was the...
Oh, hell yeah. What you all popping off?
Yeah, I need... I'm gonna go over to green. I need the farm.
Enemies have breached our stronghold.
Hell yeah.
They cower before us.
Alright, now I have Ricochet.
Now
Let's go.
Now you're a complete character.
Yeah. Yep. What else can I buy? I'll be fine with this for a while.
They are now up. 2 are up. Now 3 is up.
I'm gonna shove purple and then run the urn. You guys are doing great.
Oh. Fuck.
The shadows.
Oh, fuck. Fuck!
Oh, I'm the only one up. Shit.
There we go. That's fine. We shoved everything. Good grab on that.
Good.
We have Prio to do mid if we wanted to. After everybody's up, though.
Taking all their jungle. Taking all of our jungle.
Hell yeah. Use that ricochet to fullest effect.
Yep, they found me. They're not chasing. Nice.
I feel like chasing Infernus is a foolish endeavor. Except for that one bro who can just like teleport to you.
Yep. It's really weird. Nobody's figured out how to play him very well yet, but he certainly is broken in a couple stupid ways.
Do you think it's like bad design or just unfamiliarity?
I think we just don't know how to
Play and counterplay and all that.
play against it yet.
Yeah.
And away we go.
Hell yeah, good kill.
There's 3 here.
Oh, on your side? Okay.
Yeah. I saw Bebop Pocket and Vindicta.
Well, 2 of them are dead, so that's everybody. Oh no,
Okay.
there's one more somewhere. Can you all make it to earn?
You seem to be running in a curious
Can we make it where?
To earn.
There, you got 2 people there. I'm finishing
you're
this
not
jungle
there.
camp and then I'm on my way.
Oh, what the fuck? I just got slimed off the urn.
supposed to take me, yes?
Yeah, good old Viscous.
Alright, we're good, we're good.
They'll never
It's
see me
unnerving to
coming.
get slimed off that urn. I love it. Looks like you're good with Viscous over there with the crew. Hell
He
yeah.
cubed in front of me. I just teabagged him.
Like during the duration of this cube.
What? Yeah, during the
Yeah,
cube.
teabag the cube. Nice.
Walker has been defeated.
Yeah.
Well done. They could be. This will calm them
Here's
down
this
as they
slow
sleep.
ass fucking
Fuck it.
wait for the patron to spawn shit. Was Pocket trying to do like a desperate mid boss?
No, they were pushing our base. I'm too powerful for any of them to fight me.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Enemies have reached our stronghold.
I might be able to end game here. Oh, I didn't. It wasn't saying that the patron was weakened.
Oh yeah, yeah. Patron's good. Cool. I got altered by. What's that guy's name? Dynamo. I got altered by Dynamo.
Yeah, I after the dynamo ult, I couldn't actually move from that spot. I couldn't get my flame dash out.
I did, however, chunk a bunch of people,
Nice.
which is, I suppose, exactly my goal. I think we shove purple, and that's a game, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Unless they rotate. They might be rotating mid-boss right now.
Yeah, we definitely got to end the game before they get the rest of their items. Because we're just going to lose 5v6.
Yeah, before they catch up. Even it out.
Mm-hmm.
You're so ahead.
Yeah, I've been just sneaking farm everywhere I can. Unfortunately, that means I haven't been in a couple team fights.
Like right now. I mean, you were
Yeah.
both out of the team fighting this, so they're like 2v5 right now. I think Shiv is dead. Looking at their health bar.
Thanks for the pickup.
Ah, Bebop actually was able to get me.
Oop, I'm in a bad spot.
Pull back.
Lead him on a wild urn chase.
Well, it would seem I'm going for a run.
Enemies have breached our stronghold.
You seem to be running in
Oh.
a curious direction.
I gotta go back. Fuck.
I'm under attack.
Uh-oh.
They could be anywhere. Sometimes the simplest tricks are the most
We
effective.
only have one.
Oh, we have shrines up still. We're fine. Wow.
I'll have safe passage.
Enemies have breached our stronghold.
Nice work.
Should we rotate mid? Oh, y'all chasing Bebop. Was that the freeze Bebop?
Bebop's dead. Yeah, we got him. Just kind of ran him over.
Dynamo's back up.
I'm going in. Let's go mid.
That is a call. I guess they're all dead.
Yeah, I'll be right with y'all.
Enemies have breached
You
our
were gonna be the only
stronghold.
one left standing, Hayes.
Oh, interesting. They changed the time of when they roar.
Legend is descending.
I'll slip right through them. I'll tear them apart.
Nice. Nice ult.
Thank you. I think that's the other one. Oops.
Alright, I think we end with that.
You have talent.
Nicked up.
Time here.
Can we catch her? Come here, Bebop. Yeah, yeah. turning around. There's at least a
Let me
Nick up
show
there.
you how it's done.
Moving into position.
Thank you. for
GG.
bringing
Fuck yeah.
this play.
Easy shit. All right.
Yep.
I need like, I want to pop off stream. I think I want to play more. Like, could you give me like 15 to go eat something?
Sure, dude.
I'll hop back
Oh,
on
yeah.
inside.
Okay, no problem.
Cool.
See you in a bit.
Yep.